Well, hey there, kids. It's your good buddy, Uncle Ben.
Hey, I'm Andy Wood. I have a new record called Junktown. Uncle Ben engineered it and played bass on it. I played the guitars and the mandolins on it. And today we're going to show you Forgotten Secrets, which is track 2 off of that record.
An easy part and a hard part, so you can play along at home.
Hello, music lovers. Maybe I'll start this one.
Hello, Nashville.
Hello, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Hi, Mom. Well, hey there, kids, and welcome to this week's installment of Weekend Wankshop. Here's your best buddy, Uncle Ben, and a special guest star,
Andy Wood.
who you might know from 16 and Pregnant, Season 1.
It was actually season 2.
Yeah?
Yeah, I wasn't 16.
As Andy said in the intro, he just had a brand new record come out last week called Junktown, which features, I think, the best bass playing that I've heard in my entire life on it, as well as some excellent guitar playing by old Andy yourself. How would you describe this record to the kind folks of the internet, Andy?
So it's weird because I've always been caught between like everybody's saying, trying to like, you're a country player, you're a fusion player, you're a rock player. Like, I don't really think of it that way. I just wanted to write 10 songs that are instrumental guitar songs and leave it up to the dealer's choice to decide what it fits into. But there's definitely the quintessential things that I do in my playing, which is like back pickup Telecaster playing, and then there's like a lot of distortion at other moments, and then there's some, I think it's some of the most in-between tones on this record, like neck pickup.
It's a tone album.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of different
album,
tones.
for sure, man. And, and I just keep saying this over and over, but it just reminds me very much of an Osmonds record, where it's a little country and a little bit rock and roll.
You're Marie.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Pretty one. On today's episode, we're going to be showing you guys how to play a couple of the signature licks from the song Forgotten Secrets. But before we get into those things, let's hear them again at stepdad speed. You guys can find tabs for all of these hot licks over on my Instagram page at Ben Eller Guitars. Search for hashtag Weekend Wankshop 218. Find the tabs, learn how to play these things, and upload a video yourself shredding through it, along with the hashtag Weekend Wankshop. Now, Andy, where can they find you on the Instagriddle? They need to follow you.
I'm Andy Wood Music on Instagriddles.
Hi, Andy Wood Music. It's good to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about that main riff that we hear in the tune, which is in the neighborhood of a B-, correct?
Correct. That riff was actually more of a country style riff that I took it and I mutated it to be more rockin'. A lot of country players will do licks like...
Yeah, it's kind of open string roll kind of things.
Yeah, so I kind of was like, what if instead of that being a slurry country thing, if that was a little more on the grid and rhythmic and using the open strings to suit my evil means within rock musics. Put distortion on it.
Hammer don't hurt them. Okay, so the main thing that people are hearing here is that kind of rolly business that you're doing there on the fat strings right there. Now, are you doing a little bit of like a palm muting thing?
Yeah, definitely. You want to be, you want to take it down to Palm Springs if possible.
Get it on.
The reason is, here's without it.
Get a lot of that soupy, ringy kind of thing in there.
Now, this is with Vacation Home in Palm Springs.
It's cleaner there, I like it.
Yeah.
So you're starting off with your E string, and are you just hammering on to 5 and 7?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And with the palm muting, that gives it that nice percussive kind of Nuno thing, right?
Yeah, like all that kind of thing. Like, have you ever heard like Rick Graham or Tom? Those kind of legato
just
things.
Rumbling around.
Yeah, rumblers.
And then after that, are you grabbing the D string?
I am with the middle finger.
So your hybrids pickings that. Giving it the finger. Are you back to that B note after that open D string?
So, yeah, actually I am. And then the next chunk is back to root and then to the F sharp and open.
So that's that 4th fret D string. And again, that's hybrid pick.
And you can even practice this stuff to like, yeah.
Oh! That's just a B minor triad.
Yeah.
Sick.
And you can work on your hybrid playing and getting that stuff clean and developing your own riffs by just popping and flipping.
Flipping and popping, scratching and mixing. Oh!
Yeah.
So after you do that pull off and you return back to the B note there on the
That
bottom.
B note now starts the new section.
And that's... And then you're going here to the D string 7.
Yep.
Is that also a pull off?
Yeah, so the first finger and the pinky, which is F sharp and A respectively, those are pull-offs to the open D. Because you get that nice chordal thing happening, and if you don't have your gain set to stun and you are palm muting, it's going to sound nice and staccato-y.
Yeah, definitely. And then you're just coming back to that F sharp again. So
Exactly.
This whole section has kind of been
Yeah.
kind of going back and forth between that root. And you could, theoretically, yeah, you could pick those D strings with like an upstroke of the pick, but why not work on the hybrid thing?
Yeah, you also lose a lot of snap with it. So here it is, picked. Right?
That's not for me. That's for me.
Sound.
So after you got all that stuff, the last little section there is, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a C sharp note to the
fret
D.
A.
Yeah, and you get this. One of my favorite things to do is stack half steps together on different strings.
Yeah.
I love that. And I
Yeah.
love doing that across all kinds of different sections. So that happens to tag it out. Yeah,
Like that.
stuff Ben Eller does.
Stuff Dillinger Escape Plan does.
And now all that little section is that the C sharp, D, C sharp into A, that is just
That's
the
a
reset.
pull-off.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha, exactly. So you put that stuff all together, and you've got the roll. You got the little pull-offy thing here going back to root. And then
Correct? Yeah. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, most times that I play it, I just leave the root there.
Okay.
Until I play the C sharp. Because I want that kind of almost like...
Ringing out a little.
Yeah, if Kill Switch was a redneck, maybe he would play that. Mr. Kill Switch.
Riff City. Okay, so now onwards to the more difficult portion of the song. Now, Andy, this is one that we've seen people put up some like covers and stuff of on Instagram because it's a really cool section that outlines some dope arpeggios. But some of the positions people are putting it in are the correct notes, but maybe the wrong positions and stuff. So I'd like to see you clear up exactly how you do these parts.
Yeah, so this was written on mandolin, and mandolin, you basically could cover the whole neck in two positions, and you have all these open strings and stuff. So when I took it to guitar, the thing I was struggling with was how to jump intervallically between B minor, A, and G to descend the set of arpeggios without it turning into one of these
teleporting
nightmares.
around the neck kind of thing.
Because at that point, you run the risk, we play these songs live, you run the risk of just completely overshooting or undershooting the arpeggio section.
Playing standing up is dangerous business.
Yeah, must land on feet. When I put it in this position, what we've been seeing is we've seen Instagram covers and stuff coming up. By the way, thank you for that. We've been seeing this thing. And that's the teleport move. Okay?
Yeah, kind of the obvious B minor position, A position, G position.
Yeah, and at the tempo, it's extremely difficult to play slippery and accurate because there's so many slides. So what I did was, when it came to the A, I outlined this. So here's the first section. The friendly section is the B minor that outlines the B on the B string.
And the root note.
Yeah. Third, fifth. Up to G. And then I'm using B as a pedal tone. It's kind of a classical maneuver, if you will. And now, instead of dropping down a whole step, I'm going to put it into a completely different shape. And we're now going to play an A arpeggio, but it's going to be outlined over the course of 3 strings.
And that's why I think most players probably put it down here, is that way both arpeggios feel like Cliff Burton arpeggios,
And that's-
rather than suddenly changing pace and going to this cross-picky three-string thing, right?
Well, yeah, so if you're playing it at...
Doable.
Nice, but when you're playing it at... You're going to have a hard time playing it at that speed consistently because as being a hook of a song, I think that thing happens like 9 or 10 times in the song. So you have to be able to play it consistently. So we go to some cross picking to play the next section. That's where I do my alternate picking across 3 strings, ascending.
And fingering wise, are you going 1, 2, 3, 1, or do you roll that under the third
I
finger?
never roll.
I hate that.
I never roll. Just food for thought. Anytime I have 2 notes that stack, in a situation like that, I will cram 2 fingers on the same fret.
I avoid it as much as I can too.
Absolutely. So the first section is easy. And now we're going to go to the A that changes gears completely.
And that pedal tone up there was a B note on the G
On
string.
the
so
G
a little
string.
string skipping.
Yeah,
right
you're
there.
skipping over. One more time.
And let me ask you too, when you play that A that's across the 3 strings, I assume that's down, up, correct?
Yeah, so it
A
starts
lot
on
of
a
players will try to
downstroke.
sweep that. They'll try to go up, down, something like that. Which is not how that's going to work.
Yeah, the time feel of that needs to be alternate picked. I have down on the E note, up on the A note.
That's challenging for a lot of players right there.
Yeah, that's the inside thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
that's
I
a slide, okay.
Yeah.
And that last one's a hammer on.
Yeah, and it's also another inside string skip
Ooh, it is, isn't it?
from F sharp to B. And if you notice, it looks like my hand hits pause for a second during that slide.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's how I maintain the time feel. Yeah.
And then after this, you get to the G arpeggio, which again is not down here in the 7th position.
No,
Correct?
we're actually going to a nice comfy shape, but it's going to be...
So this is where you're starting if you're on that 15th B string, the D note, then the G12.
Then
B12.
Mother Nature's capo.
Yeah, now that one you do roll with the first finger.
Yeah, it's almost like when you use your first finger, it's not really rolling because it's just a capo.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So you got
Built in.
back to that 15, and that's a slide to the 17. Got
Correct.
it. And that's an A note, 14th G, before you hit that 17th B and slide to 19, right?
That is all correct.
That one feels nice to play.
Yeah.
And then we have the descending run.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite ways to jump through scalar diatonic sounds.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it kind of like by the books.
Yeah, I thought you played or something like that.
Most of the time, something I kind of picked up off of Dan Huff is like when you're going to play something in scale, you have to do something to it sonically to give it something different. You can't, if you play this, it becomes very predictable and almost robotic and a little Guitar Pro
Practice
file.
time.
Yeah, very much practice time. Versus if you play something scalar and you add a slide in, it immediately sounds like more is happening.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a way to focus on your sound, not just the notes.
So when you play that, are you starting with a pull off here from 15 to 14 on the beat? Or is it picked?
I would have to consult the album because when we play it live, I've done it both ways.
Right.
Yeah. I would think a good idea is to be able to play it both ways. The thing that doesn't get picked is the slide.
Right. So you got 2 notes on the B, 15, 14.
Correct?
2 notes on the G here, 16 and 14.
And then the
Sliding to
slide
the
on the G. Yeah.
Then you got, what's the last part on the D?
Yeah, correct.
So that's
And
just
then-
14, 12, and 11.
Here's the other benefit of the reason that I keep everything in the shapes that I do is if you look at where your hand is, your pinky is ready to play the lick again.
Ah, gotcha.
Because there's not a rest. There's not anything to reset you.
Yeah, then you're right there. There's a big nasty string skip, but you're in the right spot.
Yeah.
Now the second time around, the ending is just a little shorter. It's the same arpeggios and stuff, but then is it
171. Yep. And when I'm speaking, I'm not speaking in frets, I'm speaking in intervals.
Yeah. And that's just your 15, 14 on the B again.
Yep.
And then on the G, 16, 14, 16. Okay, so just once more through the entire thing here.
Okay. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a.
That's a tasty lick.
Tasty licks.
So there you go, guys. A couple of signature licks from Forgotten Secrets off of Andy's brand new record, Junktown, which, as we said, you can find on all major electronic music distribution platforms. Enjoy that savory bass playing by me. And be sure to let us know in the comments section below what other, tunes or licks or riffs from the album you'd like to see broken down on future installments of Weekend Wankshop. Thanks again so much for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for new lessons every single week. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Ben Eller Guitars, on my Facebook fan page at facebook.com/UncleBenEller, and support my poor broke ass over on my new Patreon page at patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars.
You can grab me on Facebook. You can grab me on Instagram at Andy Wood Music. You can grab me on Twitter at AWoodShreds. Typically they would be the same, but somebody took Andy Wood Music.
Sons of guns. These rats.
Be sure to check the album out on Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Walmart, Kmart, Toys R Us, Kroger, Cheddar's, O'Charlie's, Chili's, Hooters, Twin Peaks, Jiffy Lube. How many more do we have?
And of course, as you guys know, we teach all kinds of guitar lessons over the Skype. If you guys want to reach me to book some Skype lessons, be sure to drop me an email. benellerguitars@gmail.com. Where can they find you and get your knowledges?
Send me a direct message. Slide into my DMs on Instagram, Andy Wood Music.
Get yourself learnt. That's smooth, wasn't it?
I like that one.
That's really good.
As always, Uncle Ben, it is an honor to be in your wank shop.
The honor is mine. Thanks again so much for watching. Be sure to check out Junktown. We will catch you guys next week. Goodbye.